Hello, and welcome to Convict Inc. This is your host, Robert Rosso. I've been wanting to do this one for a little while. I talked a little bit about Tommy Peta. For those of you that don't know, Tommy Peta, formerly of the Banana crime family, was convicted of, I believe, 6 murders it was back in the early 90s. His attorney was Matthew Mary, a famous mob attorney who I've been in contact with throughout the years. And we have talked a lot about Tommy, and he agrees with a lot of the opinions that I have that I'm putting out here today. So we all now know that the Gemini twins, which is Anthony Center and Joey Testa, Anthony's been released. He's in a halfway house, I guess. I'm not sure if he's fully out yet. Joey's set to be released, I guess it's April 30th coming up. So the Gemini twins, who I think there's 20-plus murders in that case that were confirmed. I could be wrong. They were taking their victims into the Gemini lounge, shooting them in the back of the head or whatever, and then cutting up their body in bathtubs after snorting coke and being butt naked and draining their bodies. Anyway, okay, I don't know if that was all true, but Tommy Peta, there's rumors that he had a lot of bodies, convicted of 6, and the question now is Tommy Peta, is it his turn to come home? So I know there's a bunch of people out there that would, balk at the idea because of the circumstances of some of his crimes. He was alleged to have kept the head of one of his victims in the freezer and talked to it and so on and so forth and a bunch of yada, 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 yada. Again, the Gemini twins cut up body parts, used the cutlery set, and they've been released on given compassionate. Why not Tommy Peta? And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that Tommy Peta, I met him in Butner back in 2007. I believe it was March 2007 when he first came. They thought he had throat cancer. He had a lump. It ended up not being throat cancer. But over the 6 months course that he was there, we became really good friends. 2 years ago, I think this month, as a matter of fact, Tommy put a letter out on Convict Inc. It was the first time people have heard from him publicly. Those letters were posted on the Facebook page, and I'm not sure if I put them on a community page at Convict Inc. It's been a while on YouTube. It's been a minute. His letters were in response to Jimmy Calandra, former Bath Avenue farm team for the Banana crime family. Jimmy, big stool pigeon, was making up stories about Tommy, and Tommy used my platform, Convict Inc, to correct the record. Anyway, and he did that because we know each other. He trusted me. He was tired of getting beat up on. And I ended up talking to some of the people that are close to him. I called it the karate camp. And I remember putting out the first letter and saying, was the karate chop heard around the world or something like that. It's pretty funny. I still think about it and laugh. But in all seriousness, Tommy Peta, is it time for him to come home? And the answer is emphatically yes. He's a guy has been in there, is it over 30 years now? Yeah, it's over 30 years he's been incarcerated. And I know that he was facing the death penalty, I do believe. I'm not sure if it was taken off the table at that time. I do know that, no, I don't, I believe it wasn't. I believe it was on the table at the time. But it doesn't matter based on institutional conduct. Compare it to Anthony Center, who I know got a dirty urine in Lompoc. Joey Testa had gotten a fight at Butner. I don't know if it was expunged from his record. Tommy Peta, I believe, one altercation that wasn't his problem, but I don't know his disciplinary record. My point being, if you've got somebody who used narcotics, got a compassionate release and is out, compare that to Tommy Peta. And, oh, by the way, 20-plus bodies, I believe, that they were convicted of. And you mob aficionados will probably know exact counts. I don't. My point being that I know Tommy was convicted of 6. They were convicted of murdering and chopping up a lot more. I believe both Anthony and Joey should be out. And likewise, there's no reason at this time why Tommy Peta, a.k.a. Tommy Crowder, cannot get the same treatment. I do know that Joey had stage 4 throat cancer at one time, which could play a part of the reason his release. I never got to see his compassionate release brief. I never read it. I don't know that Anthony had any medical problems. I'm not sure. The fact is, in 2018, the laws were changed under the First Step Act. That is, the compassionate release statute was changed. Guys no longer had to be sick and dying. They based compassionate release on other factors such as rehabilitation, intervening changes in the law, unreasonable sentences. I do know that Joey and Anthony were under old law, which had parolable sentences, I do believe. And I don't think that Tommy Patera's case did. Nevertheless, when you compare the crimes, put them on their face, put them out in the public, and compare the two, no way should Tommy Patera still be stuck in prison. He's an elderly guy now. The chances, I get it, that you see over and over guys that are in their 80s in the mob are committing crimes, getting locked up. The chances of Tommy Karate ever getting out, like Joey, like Anthony, are slim to none. I guess anything could happen. I never thought I'd be locked back up. And again, I don't know. But anyway, I just want to say here and now, advocating strongly for Tommy Patera to be released. And I was contacted by correctional officers from Terre Haute that knew Joey tested that were wanting me to put out publicly that they supported his release. Of course, I got locked up at the time. I didn't get a chance to either contact them and put them on the show, or to contact them and verify if they wanted me to use their names. But I know that there was 3. One of them put his name out there, wanted me to tell Joey if I ever got a hold of him. I had written Joey Test a letter, never mailed it out. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I mailed it out. I remember I wrote it maybe a little too high, to be honest. I mean, actually, it's more probably drinking at that time. Who knows? But the fact is, I was reaching out to him to let him know that officer supported him, and if he needed any kind of support, he would help him. I do believe that if I were home, I'd be getting emails about Tommy Karate in the same way from correctional officers, from Alan Wood. For sure, Alan Wood, possibly Butner, not really sure. But, yeah, anyway, Tommy Patera, time to go. By the way, maybe I'll do a whole segment about this. Joey Test and Anthony Center, they're sitting on a gold mine, those two, when they both get out. I don't know the conditions of release. Maybe they're not supposed to be around each other or whatever. But they should, for sure, open up the new Gemini Lounge and they can, recreate the whole murder scene for the public. They could have the back room. And if you guys don't know, they'd have, the victims would walk in the front and then go in the back room, and that's when they get being whacked. And then they would, hey, Joey, you want to do a line of coke? Hey, Anthony, you got any babanya? You got any on you? They would get all fucked up. And they'd cut bodies up and drain them and cut them in little pieces and scatter them around New York. They could do that and make just a mint of money just recreating what they want, what they did, go through each little detail about what happened, because they can now. Forget the Son of Sam's Law. That's a bunch of bullshit. People talk about that, not being able to profit off your crime. There's so many ways around that. And I don't even think that law's standing anymore. But they should open up the new Gemini Lounge, and they should, like Benihana, when they come out and they, sharpen up knives and cut and cook it. That's what they should do, because they were cutting up body parts. And they should sell cutlery sets, the Gemini Twins cutlery sets. I mean, it can go on and on. I mean, I hope maybe when I get out, I can be their manager. I don't know if Joey'd want to talk to me after all the shit I said about him, which I stand behind still to this day. Anyway. Oh, another thing. This is off topic. Don't Be a Jimmy t-shirts selling on Convict Inc. If you go to the merch section, and I'm not trying to resurrect that thing, but it's true. There's Don't Be a Jimmy t-shirts are selling. I don't know why. So you guys can go look at them. I was going to take those off a while back, but anyway, maybe I'm glad I did now. And, yeah, maybe the new Gemini Lounge t-shirts. That's what I'll come up with next, and just have, but anyway, I think Joey's probably going to Las Vegas. I don't know anything about Anthony. Nothing. And Henry Borello, where's he? What's the deal with this guy? A poor guy. He needs to be out, too. He was a little bit of a whack job, I can say. Now, I didn't know Anthony. Henry was, he became like a sovereign citizen guy for a while. I do know at Leavenworth, he was one of them that walked around and said, I got him. Like, he was getting out every other day. Poor guy. He was on some heavy psych meds, too, if I recall. But he needs to be out, and we should just let them all out. You know, they got cameras now. It's not the same time frame where they can just go around gunning people down and inviting them to restaurants. And, you know, they should get a YouTube channel and talk about it, talk about their crimes. I mean, I'm serious. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Take care. Thanks for your support. Bye.